The other one is the upgrade quality. So you can upgrade it. There we go. It's either a good upgrade or an excellent upgrade. Louder.
Can't hear you.
Hey, put me up. What do you want? Right. So it's the level of the tank that will affect your earnings. It is the rarity of the tank that will affect your earnings. It is the upgrade quality, so it's either excellent or poor or perfect that will affect it. We have ELO score, which is going to be your rank. It's coming up soon. ELO ranks. It will also affect how much you earn. The higher rank you are, the more you will earn. And of course, yes, the tank rarity will affect it a lot. Yeah, the tank, the item level, of course, is that. Is that? I think. Oh wait, no. There's another one. In the match, you're going to be matched with a bunch of other tanks. They're all going to be different levels of different rarities. That will affect your match rating. So going into a match, if you're matched with a lot of other high ELO or high level tanks, you're going to be earning more too. And then the level themselves
เซนต้าฝากเลยนะให้ไปจัดการเลยได้ไหมถ้าจำไม่ผิดคนที่พูดอยู่ตอนนี้คือคิวเรียคิโร่
Well, I'll just pull from the question directly so you don't have to Right, there was a lot to take in, right? I'm guessing a little confused faces. If you guys have more questions on this, you can also grab any of us after the AMA. We're going to be having over here. We'll try to get answers to you.
เสียงไม่ค่อยแรงไม่ค่อยได้ยิน
Let's go with the simple. And I'm gonna pick this one.
MA ส่งยังไงอะ
There's a question
ส่ง
about
MA ยังไง
how did Erica Sylvia I don't believe that's true.
เดี๋ยวน่าจะรู้เดี๋ยวขอส่งไป
They got slaughtered by today. Last Galaverse, no?
So let's talk about cheating in Spidertank Ama. I think it's a real problem. I'd like to hear from the developers why cheating is such a big issue. Just kidding. Is that a real question? Well, okay, so the answer to that before I get off and look at something else is I actually play video games. So, you know, as simple as that. Is there any more questions from you?
But we're never going to get something else. Right? Questions coming in. Some more patients try to find the ones that is harder to answer first. You know what? I'm just gonna. You know what? There's a lot of questions, but I'm guessing what you guys want updated most is when is it gonna launch, right? Right? Yeah. So, I'll give you guys my take, and then I was hoping if Jason's here, I can give his take too. But so, you guys probably all see the roadmap, right? We announced the roadmap on Discord, and it says the SIP was going to launch in 2Q, or was it May of 2021. We were working really hard to keep that date, but obviously we had a lot of discussions happening internally, but also market conditions not that great either, right? So we sort of went back and thought about our strategies to how we were looking at the launch window. Starting with last year, right? We added a lot of features into the game after we did Alpha in July. We talked about factories, land, leasing, and later and all that kind of stuff. And we really wanted to launch the game last year, but we couldn't. So we pushed it out, we wanted to add more features, and the way we structured the release of games is we'll go with the beta first, where all the NFT holders will play, but there are quite a bit of NFTs sold for Spidertank, but to have a really good matchmaking for a game that requires 6 people to play, we need more people, right? So then how do we resolve that? So that's why we added a free set of picks that player can come in and play. And we tried to do a lot of different ways to motivate players as much as the NFT holders. But we always told you guys about NFT, all the tank items that you guys own, you'll be able to use it to free players too, right? So how do we differentiate the, how do we keep the value of those NFTs that you can lease out versus people just coming in playing for free, right? So to get to a game out to you guys first and have you guys be able to play it, we put in the free picks. I don't think there was any earnings attached to it. We wanted to try to get a test so that all the tokenomics that we've been working on and how the distribution model works, and we try to get that going as soon as possible. That's why we put in the test coins. And then we put the test coins in, and we're going to let it run for a while, and then once we get all the debugging done, we will just launch the site. But then, where's the decent, right? And there's free players, there's 20-something thousand people who bought it, 20-something thousand NFTs or more that were sold. And people don't, I mean, some people bought 300 of them, right? And they can't play with all of them. If we don't release them like releasing, they have to play what? A couple hours to maximize the points that they can earn that day. And with 300, they never can, right? So if we release silk token to drop the way the test token is dropping now, like there's gonna be a lot of them that are gonna be mad. It just doesn't make sense, right? And then also, you guys heard a session about Jerry, and we were desperately waiting for the Jerry to have a successful production test, which we have. So now we're at a point like, you know what? Try to launch something that doesn't have the full feature of the tokenomics. If we take time, or if we delay on the next feature that perfects the tokenomics, it's just gonna keep on dripping things out and dripping things out, and it's not really gonna work. So the way we're approaching it right now is now we have a full production version of Jerry, and we improved the game significantly over the past 6 months. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get, like Jason said yesterday, we're trying to get the Spidertank to run on Jerry, which means we can actually have leasing available for Spidertank, right? So I think the biggest feature is having an upgrade work on chain, have the leasing work on chain, and then if we release silk, we're not going to be faced with problems that we had with Hamster. So, and then along with the downturn of crypto, and we're all feeling the chill, right? So if we just start minting silk with just having those two features out, only key stakeholders for these tokens are going to be you guys, right? You guys are playing the game, getting silk distribution, and you have, I guess, more powerful experience with the game to earn more points, or you can drop it in the market and try to sell it off and make money, right? So in that, I know you haven't hung up. I know it's a long-winded answer, and it's not simple thing to answer either, right? So, but cut to the chase. What we're trying to do is now that we have the production version of Jerry, we're going to spec out how the time it's going to require to get Spidertanks on there for releasing, for minting, for silk distributions, and then we're going to announce a schedule of, hey, we have this, we're going to launch on this month. I'm not sure if I can disclose that specific date because I've been doing it for a long time, but it's really, really hard to hit a date. But we're going to try to give you a date that we aren't going to push back no further than the amount that we have from now, right? Or the announcement date. So when we announce the thing, we're gonna know where we're gonna launch. We're gonna try to work as much as possible to launch on that day. But on top of that, while we're preparing for this, there's two other things that we're preparing as well. So one, I'm not sure if I can say that. Well, I'm just gonna say that. One, we're gonna try to create stakeholders outside of the Spidertank player base, right? So we're gonna work with a lot of exchange and a lot of partners and try to sell the idea of the Spidertank economy and Spidertank ecosystem and the game, and try to get interest from the people that this is a very good opportunity to distributions of themselves. And there's going to be people who want to sell, who want to keep on playing, want to keep on holding on to rent. So we will have a balance of economy where it can be actually sustainable. And we have a lot of other ideas to make that happen and keep have a healthy amount of transaction volume for Silk. But I really believe this is let me get Jason. Can somebody get Jason?
Let's talk about it.
So I know there's really long-winded questions, but to break it down, we will announce a schedule after Galaverse. We'll sit down and calculate how much it'll take and have a full roadmap that we're going to make sure we're going to hit. But it's not going to be like last year, like July we're going to launch in August, and then September, and then October, and December, and it's not going to be that. This time we will have a date for it. Fine. Good. I cannot hear you.
We got you.
ทำไมต้องขอแล้ว
So this is talk about Discord community and all that. And what is the time frame that we are speaking about here? Do you have any rough idea?
Can I say some?
We have to wait for the question. Yeah. So rough, please.
So the reason it's so complex is we have the game team. We promised you guys factors and land, and I know some of you guys are the landowners. We want to have the land in it so that it works. We want to have factors in it so that it works, right? So there's a whole game side of things, right? And chain, we're going to start creating smart contracts. We're going to start testing transactions between it. One thing that's going to speed this up is we have with the test point distribution, the distribution works. And one thing I've gotten a lot of personal questions from you guys saying, is this amount of test point that I'm getting to play the actual amount that you're going to get for sub? And it is not. It is a test amount. We are testing a lot of different ways to distribute it. When we have the final version, we will announce it. And John, can I say we're going to announce a white paper? Did I say it? Anyway, so I know we've been very vague about how the whole prize will work. So we actually have a draft.
sum up how the process happened. We were ready to launch Spidertank since Gary was a little late. We were going to launch it with the database. We learned a lot from Townstar and that town. What we are all about, our method is test, hypothesis, test, data, apply. So when we basically had this thing lined up to turn on, that's when you're saying the test distribution, the features of what we're going to have. We're going to have leasing, and when you upgraded your tanks in this version, those upgrades, you would have to hold the tank, leave your wallet, wait for Fury to hit, then you could actually apply the upgrade to the tank. So we turned it on, we watched the test distribution to replace the fact that free players couldn't play at all. We put free tanks in the game that we get a little bit of silk, and we watched what happened. We watched our test hypothesis and distribution. Nothing is more important to us than this healthy, sustainable play-to-earn economy, which is something, by the way, it does not exist right now. Nobody has done it. So that is so of such paramount importance. We decided, you know what? We don't like what we're seeing here. We're going to do this the real way. We're going to wait for years. And I think it's been a little overshadowed how big a deal the live public town crush test of Fury was. That entire game is running on the blockchain. This is not trivial. We're building an L1. That is a very, very hard thing to do. So with knowing that we now have production ready L1 code, we believe, but now go back and do the work, strip out the database version of Spidertanks, and we're putting in the real stuff. It is a little hard for us to say it's going to be August or September. And I think what you're alluding to is we're a little shy of saying August or September. So by the time we tell you the date this time, we want to be an actual real date and know that this is absolutely company zero priority that we're working with this tomorrow.
How you guys doing? Having fun? Yeah. Is Aaron answering your questions? I heard some mumbling and some.
Because you don't answer them. That's where I said, no. Let's go there. What's it here? When? Soon. See?
Next question.
No, it's a little good question. Does anyone else have questions?
Yeah, we'll just take it from the light. It's not like nothing, but that's like it's not.
ยกมือยกมือ
There we go.
Thank you. My name is Mr. Ahmad from HS. So I have a question about yourself. Because what is the utility of this? As I understand, it's about upgrade. So what if you have a tank engine that are already fully upgraded? What do you do with the cell afterward? Like what is the utility?
So just to recap, what's the utility after you fully upgrade the tank to level 30? What happens after that?
Okay, hold on. We have to confer amongst ourselves for a moment.
Sell the tank and do it again.
เราคิดหนักแล้วเราคิดหนักแล้ว
First thing is one tank. I mean, we have one fully upgraded level 30 tank. One of the when you upgrade tanks for starters, you are going to be getting upgrades that are very quality, right? There's a, I forget the exact terminology used, but it's like a high, medium, low sort of upgrade. And it's very, very difficult to get, perfect upgrades every single time. So you do have the ability to reroll that if you would like to make sure that you get the best upgrades possible. The second thing is I think at the end of the day, and please, Robin, please step in and tell me if you're wrong. I think at the end of the day, we want to see Spidertanks become the esports game forever. And I think that more than any other game out there, it has that potential. Because all of you guys are here because you've seen it, you've played it, you care, you know it's fun. Okay, how many of you would play that game if there was no silver bullet? It was just a fun game, right? That a lot of you would. Okay, I know I certainly would. Because I don't even know how to get silver right now. You need to be there. Yeah, no, I just lose there. So, everybody here would play that game regardless. We see it as being a game that has the potential, right, to become an amazing esports experience, a competitive esports experience, and as maps and nodes and all of these other things allow, there will be the ability for people to do things within that context, hopefully at a certain point in time, that we may not be able to provide as essential service. Right? Kind of dance around this.
Would like to add something to that.
Yes, please, go for it.
So you have an upgraded tank, right? So with Jari, the team, you will be able to sell your upgraded tank and have the stats still attached to it. Meaning, well, you can imagine that an upgraded tank that's been really well upgraded will be worth more than just an empty tank. We can keep those stats on the chain and we can just transfer that. I don't know if it's wrong. So that's one thing. And of course we have leasing when that is in. So if you're not playing with your super upgraded tank, which will earn you more, you can just lease it out to someone else who will play for you and you will get a percentage of what they earn. So these are really big things you can do with your tank, and I think it's still a good motivation to buy more tanks and upgrade them even later. And if this seems to be not enough to do with your upgraded tank, we will build more systems that will support the ecosystem and will support players who have really high upgraded tanks and all of them.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a package game. When we launch it, it just stays the same, and you're just playing the same over and over, like I said, right? I mean, you've seen us do this, right? Since July, how much of the game has changed, right? We added new things, we added new items, we added, what was that map where you can test all the stuff in the game?
The shooting range.
Yeah, we added a shooting range, and I heard there's something more that you guys are working on, right?
Yeah, there's new game modes coming.
Come on.
Actually, we have linked in the Discord already. There's 3 more game modes coming. One is Kill the Hill. There's a kill confirmed kind of game mode, and there's a payload game mode. They will all work on all the other maps too, the old maps. So if you own a map, you don't have to be scared that your map will be less frequent in the matchmaking, because every game mode will still work on the map. And it will be more diverse.
So does that mean I'm not going to be playing the chicken mode all the time?
I really like the chicken mode.
There are going to be more chickens next week.
That's good.
Bigger, they're better, and more beautiful. There's going to be a lot of them.
I've seen it.
So one other thing that I want to drive home really quick, and this is not something that we've really talked about, but I'm going to talk about it, and it's going to go slightly sideways, but it loops back around. Onboarding right now on our platform is a terribly high friction process. It sucks, and we know that. We know that. You know it's not fun to go to a website and have to create a fucking wall. It's terrible, right? Don't show it, and it's awful, right? So there's a few things that are happening right now, and I'm probably like, you know, in the old timey movies when the hook comes off the side of the stage and pulls the person off, there is a non-zero chance that that's going to happen as I start talking about some of this stuff. Okay. We're doing a few things that fundamentally change the onboarding. One of the things was supposed to be released today, and I don't think we've said anything about it to anyone. It's been pushed a little bit, not too long, probably a few weeks, but because there was a bug that we discovered. But very soon, you are going to be able to connect to the Galaverse platform using a normal Web3 wallet. Okay? So you're let's go and create an account, connect your wallet, sign transactions in the wallet, okay?
อะไรอ่ะ
And
มันมีอะไรอ่ะ
to reduce friction.
แซลมอน
There's more. Okay, so yesterday you guys saw that epic announcement.
เอาด้วย
Which was that?
แซลมอนอะไรมีเต็ม
อยู่ในแซลมอนเห็นแต่ชีส
วิญญาณ วิญญาณ
You didn't hear what he whispered,
มี
right?
ชีสเหรอ
มีแต่ชีส
I hope God.
Oh no. Contacts in the house.
Keep
It's like you're not.
วิญญาณจัง
Oh no.
Oh.
Fuck, this is here.
โดนผีแซลมอนหลอกแล้ว
Okay.
I think movie
thing,
vanilla.
the thing that you just came and whispered
มีอยู่เหรอ
อันนี้คือ
มีวิญญาณ
is that without
ชิ้นล้วน
okay, one of the really, really critical things is having it on Epic doesn't do anything unless your Epic
ก็เดี๋ยวมีอย่างอื่นกินอยู่
also does. Okay, so part of what we're doing is we're making it so that you can do like a single sign-on and account creation with a
โดนผีหลอกแล้ว
ได้วิญญาณลบหมดลบวิญญาณ
Google login, your Facebook login, your Twitter login, your Epic login. All of these will allow you to log in and create
เพราะงี้
You understand? Okay, this is freaking huge because what it does is it takes the barrier of entry. Because right now, I've seen this happen. We did an announcement. It was in, I think it was the one that we did in Los Angeles when we took over the forum for the gala music thing. We watched people pick up their phones, go to create an account, and go, okay, and we know that it sucks. It's terrible. So what we're doing is we are just hammering those barriers down, and what that means, okay, like the side benefit of that is suddenly you have people with an Epic account,
เปิด
Gala account,
ไม่มี
and Spidertank.
กินตัว
Okay,
นี้
that's 194 million.
ทำไม
Okay. And not even talking about the other things. That's only one thing. So this is what is being worked on right now. One of the reasons that some of these things are going slower than we would like is because the knock-on benefit of getting one of them done before the release is really, really, really high. Because imagine when we do a full silk is rolled out, it's rolled out across multiple exchanges simultaneously. You know, everything is orchestrated and working together with a broad ecosystem, right? And we're able to do millions of dollars of user acquisition for a low friction sign-up process to allow you to connect an account, step in and start playing with
แต่
them
เราไม่คำนวณอยู่ดีว่า
without having a nasty ass monitor
ก็ไม่
and
คน
buying
ก็ดู
with
ค
your
นเรา
MetaMask.
คิดว่าเล่น
Like that's
ถ้ามันไม่คือ
and so all of these things feed into all
ถ้า
that.
แบบนี้มันจะดิ้นได้เล่นไม่เก่ง
And
มันก็จะ
it rises high, lifts all ships, right? And so the more we do this, the stronger the whole ecosystem gets.
คือมันต้องเป็นนาน
Yeah, and talk about. So, are we also gonna smooth the onboarding system for the right now? It's pretty hard because we're working with somebody with an agent or a so we moved to a messenger right now. But we still need a lot more players to really get it working.
What's that?
So we decided to
What's that?
features from the info to check out the info yourself and so
สลัด
คือตลาดที่เป็นตลาดแต่ไม่คิดว่า
แล้วไม่มีซ่อมเหรอ
ถามว่า you have any shop yes give me second
on all sides we try to conclude all areas. So
ใส่น้ำสลัดแล้วก็ปิดตาแล้วก็เขย่า
the gravity of what Jason already did more
สลัดคีนัว
เวนิก้า
How many of you guys actually saw a Spidertank ad on YouTube
อย่าให้โดนเสื้อไป
or
นะ
any of the channels out there?
ได้แล้ว
Yeah, so we spent multiple times trying to do UA, trying to bring more people in to that very main mayhem. You guys have a bunch of new people, a bunch of people who actually play this, right? You don't have to wait 30 seconds or a minute, right? It's faster to make matchmaking, and if you have a bigger pool of people,
ปิด
you
ฝา
can
แล้วก็เขย่า
actually put in a
ปิด
ecosystem
ดีๆเด้อ
that works, that can match players to their skill
อย่ากลัว
level.
มันเจ็บดิ
So when Eric comes in, when Jason, John comes into the game with the ancient tank and saying that they play with this
olive oil.
like
Extra
esports
virgin.
pro at level 0.
อ๋อทำไมมีสลัดสองแบบอะ
Feel very bad about it. Like there's
ซึ่ง
no
ไม่เหมือนผลไม้
ไม่เหมือน
how an ancient player
ผล
level 50
ไม้
right? But if you know their hero score is 20,000 and John's hero score is 1, of course you're gonna lose. Maybe it might be like that. So
ตายตาย
so we tried spending marketing dollars
ไม่มีใครดูแต่ปิด
push players, push new players into the game, and because of the friction on the roll on signing process, it's just you can't get people to on board. So that's what we do. So we need to be able to get players into the game, right? It's only just you guys sitting in the salon getting self-drip, right? Self-distribution, and no one else wants it. What does that mean, right? It doesn't mean anything, right? We need tons of players actively joining.
Having said that,
Okay.
how do we get tons more players? A lot of you guys want to grind, right? You guys want personal stats, you want tournaments, you want things to do and have fun. And how we get this so
Hey, which side?
I'm in the middle, literally.
So we do have a lot of budget slated out for Spider-Man. We have other plans to the audience this
ก็
time.
แข่งอย่างเดียว
It's not ready yet.
น่าจะมีน่าจะมี
Because we can deploy millions of dollars to get a couple hundred people. It's not going to run like none of us justice, right? So we need this. We need Gary, or Jerry, but I'm calling it Jerry. But and we need leasing. We need better distribution model. Oh, and the honor system that Eric really wants you to talk about.
So, one of the things that we're doing is, this is even like inspiration. Why didn't you just set me up? I'm not paying attention. Okay, so right now, we all collectively, as a group, okay, this is you and me and everybody in this room and everyone at this convention center and everyone in Discord, and everyone who has been weeded out of Discord for talking about Roy and all of those people as well. Everybody has a challenge, and that is that all of us working together, okay, depend on the stability
ไม่ได้งบหมด
of an ecosystem as a whole in order for everything to work, right? So there are those of you who, they play a game,
คนต้องการสรุปมากกว่า
take those tanks, you lease them out, you collect some stuff, you
ไม่มีอะไรกินได้เลย
upgrades. But then there's this
ไม่ได้เลยอันนี้ยิ่งแย่อันนี้ถึงแย่พวกติ๊กหยวกอะไรกันนั่นแหละ
ถ้าอร่อยน่าจะต้องthere's a thing there, right? Because you heard what we do what we do because we want to find and blockchain, cryptocurrencies and NFTs and provable ownership and all of these things are tools that we use to achieve this goal. Okay, our goal is not necessarily, just make computer games. Because if we just wanted to make games, we would all still be working in the same free-to-play, bullshit mobile, systems. Everybody who's joined the company has joined because they recognize that what we're doing is fundamentally a different mission. Okay? So, that said, if you have an ecosystem that has a large percentage of actors, this is a big one. This is really big. But anyway, so if everybody in the ecosystem starts behaving badly in a way that does not support the ecosystem, you have a problem, okay? In an event, a whole bunch of people go dump a whole bunch of silk or whatever into the market at once, creates long-term problems for liquidity and for people who are holding that token. If you have somebody who is depending on being able to, pull a small amount. Let's say you have a player somewhere in the developing world, okay, and they play and they're really good, and they have gotten to the point where they lease a tank and they kick ass and they make a little money and they need to get this out to feed their family. And at the same time as this happens, there's a whole bunch of mega whales who all decide to negatively impact the ecosystem as a whole, all at once. What happens? The person who needs it most gets screwed, right? And does anyone like that? No, right? That sucks. So what we're doing, and this is a wholesale ecosystem that you guys have heard of, and in large part, a lot of what's happening with everything that Galaverse is doing as a whole is implementing the concept of honor. Okay? So basically what this is going to do is that your ability to earn in a game, okay, or earn via music or earn via film, is going to in some way be impacted by your behavior within the rest of the ecosystem. Okay, now this may be social components. And one of the things that helped us grow massively at the beginning was a referral structure, but it was kind of garbage and didn't work all that well. But it brought in a ton of people. Like, how many people in here came in because somebody referred you? I know it's more than that. You guys are all doing this fine. But the point is that was something that worked really well, right? So we want to bring that back as a concept. Bring more people in the game. You bring people in the game, they play, your honor goes up. Okay? You perform other projects in the ecosystem, and you hurt the ecosystem. Also, pretty soon it's like a node ecosystem, and this is essentially baked into it. One of the things that we're going to do is we're going to be getting rid of our portion of our business units in the proposed right now. This could change. We're going to be getting rid of our portion of the node distribution. Okay? And we're going to be taking that and using it to set up a pool that is designed specifically for people who are contributing to the ecosystem. And as your honor builds up, you're able to earn more across the ecosystem. But if you start acting in a way that fundamentally fucks everybody else, okay, now we don't have a problem with people taking this out, you pay your bills, things like that. But if you start actively attacking the rest of the ecosystem, then the ecosystem will adjust to defend that if it's a situation where the liquidity does not permit something like that. If there's massive, chunk that exists that won't hurt people, that's fine, no big deal. But if you start hurting people, then your honor decreases and your earning potential decreases to prevent that from continuing. Because this is what happened with you know the town, right?
ก็ทั้งสามคนก็นั่ง
We
ที่
had
กันอยู่นั่นแหละ
people who had thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of points, hitting thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of town. And because we hadn't finished building out the town ecosystem, what do you do with it? Right? And that's shitty for everybody. And you know, we want to make ecosystems that are sustainable and strong and work in the long term, and this is one component of that. Does that make sense?
yes
Jason, let's do something, let's do some rapid fire.
Rapid fire questions.
Yeah. So
You ask for what?
let's do one from, like, number one question that came through was related to stats and to tracking and being able to blind cases. So I'd love to hear from the devs, either Robin or Tamar. But if you guys don't know, Spider Queen is on the left. Spider Baron.
Spider Emperor is here.
Emperor. I don't know, he goes by multiple names. But these two devs built the game, they listen to you guys, they want to help and build something amazing. So they'd love to know more about statistics in game, something to grind for and build towards up until launch.
You mean statistics for game matches?
ก็ไม่น่ามีหรอกเพราะว่าก็เขาก็น่าจะตอบก็น่าจะตอบที่ลูกค้ายังมีปัญหาอยู่แต่คือเขามีไอ้คอยนะยังมีปัญหาอยู่นั่นแหละแต่ถ้าเรื่องเล่นเกมอะเขาก็จะผลักดันพวกอีสปอร์ตแล้วเขาก็บอกอยู่ว่าเขามีตังค์เยอะนะซึ่งเขาจะดังระดับเข้ามาในกลุ่มในการแข่งก็ค่อนข้างเคลียร์ในเรื่องของเขา
ไม่เรื่องแบบเกมสแตทอะไรอย่างเงี้ย
ไม่มีปัญหานะเพราะนั้นมันก็คือมันปรับเปลี่ยนไปเรื่อยๆอยู่แล้วไม่มีปัญหาของเรา
แล้วแบบในพวกที่แบบแมคแคนิกที่แบบต้องมีตอนเล่นเกมมันครบไหมเพราะว่าที่ต้องใช้โค้ดไอ้เนี่ย
แต่นั้นคือเท้าซ้ายแต่ไม่ใช่แทงไว้ไม่แทงไปได้แทงก็เป็นปกติ
countries and also within the game. Probably less something to say about this.
I have something to say about this personal stats page that we have here. Actually, we're working on that already. I think in the next big update, we're going to be able to push like at least some stats that you have on your personal profile, so that your name first, and we'll have your reload rank, which is a new thing coming up. Well, like the ranked matchmaking will be there. There will be how many kills you got, how much damage you did over time, how much really your most successful weapon, your most successful body, most successful abilities, a bunch of stats under each other as a page on the main menu basically. That will be the next update. And yeah, what we talked about the API, it's approachable, so you can get more stats about the game. That will not be the next update. It will be the big later, but yeah, we are really looking into also pushing stuff like that. Yeah.
Awesome. What about hats? Props, hats?
Props and hats. Anybody knows outputs?
Bring back my props.
Yeah, we currently already working on some new props, of course, to enjoy themselves. We're working on new skins as well. I think there's a whole lot of content in the way. Where's the next time? Is he here? No?
Single text?
Yeah, we're gonna make some silly hats as well.
One thing that came in, well, one of the things that I wanted to give you information on, but I said having a really long-winded answer and forgot to mention, is that while trying to build get a big roadmap out for them to announce to you guys, it's gonna take months, not days, maybe. But it's never going to be here, right? It's going to be months, right? But during that time, I know that I've seen a lot of people enjoy Run and competition that we have, but it's not like a real tournament or a real like esports event, right? So while we're preparing to launch, have all the features ready to launch on a single day, there's going to be a gap between it. We are actively planning to run esports tournaments during that time so that you guys can get involved. There's going to be prizes, and we have a guy over there standing near the bar. He is actively going out trying to get sponsorship, setting up esports tournaments. So we're going to be hearing a lot more about that.
มีสปอนเซอร์ชิพอะไรด้วย
But in addition to that, there was a question about when it's still going to be available in exchanges. And I think it's a very important question to answer. And there you go.
Hey, Warren, can you raise your hand? Okay, everyone look over towards the bar. The guy raising his hand is our esports coordinator. So, if you have an esports team,
คนนี้นะคนกลางเลยนะ
if you have a
เฮ้ย
team
เดี๋ยวมา
that wants to have an esports team, he's the guy to talk to. I'm sorry, Juan.
And he does speak Korean too, so if you're Korean,
ต้องไปคุยด้วยแต่เป็นคนเกาหลีนะ เด็กคนเกาหลีนะ
한국말도 잘하시는 분이니까
บอกเลยนะแย่เลยนะเอ๊ะแต่เกาหลีเขารู้จากพีแคสอยู่
보시면 아는데
แต่ไม่รู้แหละ
저분한테 편하게
ถ้าได้
가셔서
ไปเกาหลีก็โอ้โห สบายสบายเลย
이제 아이디어나
บอกเลยสบาย
ทำไม
เพื่อนเขาเยอะ
ไม่ได้ไปเที่ยว
ไม่ได้ไปเที่ยวเกาหลีแต่ถ้าแบบเขามาแบ็คเราคือสบายเลย
Okay.
เราสนิทกับเขาเหรอชาวเกาหลี
คือเกาหลีเขาค่อนข้างมีหน้าตาคือเป็นทัวร์นาเมนต์เดียวที่เขามาเล่นด้วย
There's a little bit that I have to talk about here, and you'll forgive me because I have to talk about it a little bit carefully because I don't understand it. Okay, so here's the thing. All games need users. Okay, and in the blockchain space, okay, the easiest way to onboard users is to make sure that those are users that are already interested in blockchain games, okay? Because convincing a normal gamer, and all of you in here, like everyone in here, raise your hand if you would say that you are like crypto native. Okay, now raise your hand if you have friends and family that look at you like you're fucking stupid every single time you talk about blockchain, right? Now, gamers, you guys have seen this. You have certain publications that like to write articles about how terrible blockchain gaming is, right? And this is what a lot of gamers are hearing. So the easiest way to onboard users to a blockchain game is starting with people who are blockchain people. And the easiest way to find those blockchain people is to go where blockchain people hang out and visit on a regular basis. Can anyone think of a place that blockchain people have a tendency to hang out doing blockchain things? On-chain gaming, yes. There you go. They hang out at on-chain gaming. But they hang out at these, what are they called? They're these places where you change one type of token to another token, like trade, exchange, something like that. I don't recall the word. But this is where all of these people hang out, right? So, what we see as a very viable long-term user acquisition strategy is to make sure that the token that you need to play the game is available in many different places. Does everyone understand that? Okay, now the way that you do that, okay, because you will notice that we've had a few different tokens for a few different things that have gone in a few different places, okay? But it is very difficult to get these exchanges on board unless they see something in it for them, right? So what we're in the process of doing right now, and we're in conversations with a lot of different people, okay, is to get tokens listed and available for members of the exchanges at launch. Okay, so this would be across multiple exchanges, not just one, not just two, multiple. Okay, so that the users of those exchanges can get the tokens and then come play the game. Now, this has nothing whatsoever. Very clear about this. This has nothing whatsoever to do with price. This is all about giving people access so that they can gain entry into the game more easily.
เขายังไม่ทำอะไรใกล้ๆนี่หรอกคือว่าเขาปล่อยเรื่อยๆเพราะเขารู้ดีว่ามันมีปัญหาเขารู้ดีเดินเท้าไปเขารู้ดี
Question. Keep on walking, Jesse. Just keep on walking. No. Keep on.
แอร์แบบให้คน
Go
ไป
on.
ซื้อแทน
Go on.
เป็นทำกับ exposure ได้ exposure
So, question. Would you guys like, and actually, I guess we could just give an option.
ถ้าคนจะมาเล่นจริง
You guys want to choose a thing? Okay. So, would you like a token launch that is like Ethereum, where you are able to get it and claim it, and it starts only in game, and you just have the token? Or would you like a token launch that looks more like 8, for example?
ๆ more like what
Okay, so those of you who want like a color launch,
คือไม่รู้ว่า F ทำอะไร
with these tokens, exchanges don't want to touch them.
ก็คือขายด้วย exchange
Can't do like when we were doing a big
อ๋อแล้วคนก็ซื้อใน exchange ได้เลย
ใช่
ไม่อยากได้ทั้งสองแบบ
So, who in here likes Ethereum style?
Nobody?
Okay. Who in, I thought the cow was raising its hand for a second. I saw a big shiny cow over there. Who of you in here likes the 8 style of trying to work things out with a bunch of different entities in advance so that all of it goes live at once across the entire industry? Okay, so that's, just so you guys understand, that's what we're working on in partnership with a variety of partners across the entire ecosystem. The downside is this takes time. It's not an
เรา
instant
ไม่รู้ว่า
fix.
utility ของเหรียญเนี่ยคือเขาไปทำอะไรคือรู้ว่าเหรียญมันแพงแต่ไม่รู้เลยว่ามันคือ
That's
อะไร
the trajectory that we would like to go. And I'm glad that all of you guys agree with that. So,
Can we, I know you guys are hot, hungry, hangry. Can we make a little roundabout decision and figure out, you guys want to learn a little bit more about in-game stuff? You want to hear more about esports tournaments? Or you want to just get out of here?
ดูดิแล้วก็มาเทียบกันได้เพราะมันเป็นเอฟมันดัง
You guys want to hear a little bit from the in-game? Okay.
คอมมูนมันไม่ได้เกี่ยวกับเหรียญแต่เป็นเพราะคอมมูนไปเทียบกัน
You ask for it, man.
So Robin,
What?
what can we expect sooner than later regarding in-game updates, making the game a little bit more friendly to bring in new players, but also becoming a playing game?
Right. Okay, so yeah, I already talked about game modes. There's a lot of new game modes coming. You can always, of course, expect the meta to be thrown around. We want the meta to be fresh. We want weapons to be changed around, and we want new abilities and ability changes to make the game feel fresh every time there's a big update. So the players who can play for a long time can still enjoy the game and have something fresh to play, and people who come in, well, they always have something fresh, of course. And yeah, I think Benoit already mentioned it. We're gonna build a single player kind of game mode, which will make you able to practice and use your weapons that you bought or that you want to buy, or want to try at least. In a kind of wake shooter kind of game mode where you'll just be able to keep playing, you don't have to wait for matchmaking. So that's something we're gonna have. And of course in this time we were waiting for Project Jerry and all the exchanges and all the stuff, we're going to continue to just improve the game and add whatever you guys want. We're constantly looking in Discord and into the suggestion channels to see what you guys want, to see what you guys like. And if we're seeing a big group of people that want something, we're probably going to build it. You want to say something?
Yeah. We also investigate the stuff like other matches. We currently only have 3 versus 3 games right now, and we get a lot of requests for maybe bigger one, maybe more chaos going from one versus one. So currently we trying to do one versus one weekend or Spider Friday day for you guys to check it out. We'll change that later. The reason why we don't do it all at the same time is that we don't have enough players just yet. So the next otherwise we have to a little bit, or we have to wait a bit longer. So for everybody, the whole week to check it out. These things will come eventually. Just like Will said, there's a lot of things we are getting suggestions from the Discord channel, and I think Tom everything's written down by Tom on his schedule, and if you see big things, we immediately put it on our solo board, so it's like we're immediately there, and I think there's a long list, but
ไม่ปล่อยของไม่ต้องมีอะไรเลยมันก็เห็นก็แล้วกัน
a lot of stuff coming from us, something that I even doesn't know yet, but you know, they can tell me everything now.
ไม่ได้ทำอะไรไม่ได้
From a player's perspective, we've got one of the biggest guilds, multiple guilds in this room. BKS, we've got represented from Mafia, we've got a lot of guilds. We'd love to learn more about these
มาเรียนมาเอทีเอ็มก็รู้
specifically how the matching can work. But before I do that, I'll use some time to think about your answer. I'm going to have another question from you guys.
So my question is about like some sort of game progression. One of my favorite games of all time is just League of Legends, and I feel like Spider-Man really has that sort of style to it, fast-paced MOBA. Have you guys thought at all about adding any sort of in-game progression, like only exist in a single match, or having kind of some sort of power-ups or something that you could get? You could get like a short amount of power in a match, or anything like that.
ไม่เข้าใจครับ
That's a good question. Actually, Eric mentioned this to myself.
อ๋อ มันจะได้แบบมีเลเวล
มันก็ต้องเป็นเกมโหมดใหม่เพราะเกมโหมดปัจจุบันมันไม่ได้มันก็คือฆ่ากันภายในไม่กี่นาทีแล้วก็จบมันจะคนละเกมเลยใช่มันคนละเกมเลยแต่ถ้าจะสร้างโหมดใหม่ก็อาจจะทำได้เหมือนโหมดแบบ Battle Royale ถ้าทำแบบนั้นเราก็เริ่มไปเก็บอัปเกรดเอาเก็บปืนเก็บอะไรแล้วแรงขึ้นใช้กระดูกแต่มันก็จะเอาความเป็น NFC ออกไปนิดนึงพอมันเก็บของก็ไม่รู้
ไม่ก็อาจจะทำให้เอ็นเชนอะเริ่มมาเร็วก็มีแฟน
ต้องเขาจะตอบไหมครับ
Yeah, I would like to add that the complexity in Spider-Tank's gameplay right now comes more from the pretty big selection of abilities and weapons and stuff that counters. Every weapon and every ability has a good counter and a good way to use it.
อันนี้จริง
Yeah, and
มันเลยทำให้คนต้องเก็บหลายปืน
is already quite complex. And it's, yeah, we don't call Spider-Tanks a mobile for a reason, because mobiles are just very different. And the game's already long. We want the Spider-Tanks gameplay to be shorter, more action-packed, and compact. There's still quite some complexity, which we already saw with the first 30 minutes. People do have pretty good strength and they try to counter each
ใช่
other.
มันคนละแบบเลยอันนี้คือมันแบบเข้าไปแล้วก็ยิง
So yeah, we're looking into more complex stuff, mobile stuff, or we're looking at Digital Warriors, which we announced in December. But yeah, maybe some of these ideas will leak out for Spider-Tanks at some point.
ถ้าสมม
We'll
ติ
see.
ความแตก
So
ต่าง
we're going to be wrapping up, but before we do that,
เอปิก
I want to hear
เช่น
from one of the
แตกต่างมาก แต่พอมันอัปเกรดได้แล้วเอาง่ายๆตัวที่เดินช้าที่สุดนะแล้วเรียกว่า30กับตัวที่เดินเร็วที่สุดเรียกว่า0นะตัว30เดินเร็วกว่าแล้วเล่นก็คือเยอะกว่าแบบคนละขั้นเลยมันต่างกันมากแต่ว่าคือเผอิญมันมีอัปเกรดให้มันถ้าอัปเกรดดีทำให้มันเต็มอัปเกรดมันก็จะมีเลเวลของมันคืออัปเกรดแบบแย่ได้มาแย่ได้มาดีเป็นอะไร
เปลี่ยนแบบแม็กสแตท
ทุกอย่างเลยก็จะเหมือนเอิร์นแคสถ้าจบแล้ว
ก็น้อยกว่าใช่ไหม
เอิร์นยังน้อยกว่าอยู่ดี
เพราะมันเป็นคอมมอน
ใช่ แต่ว่ามันก็จะเอิร์นมากกว่าคอมมอนที่เลเวลสูง
เพราะฉะนั้น
เพราะว่าคอมมอนเลเวลสูงกับคอมมอนเลเวล30จะเอิร์นแตกต่างกัน มันถึงเราถึงคนอัปเกรดพอเราอัปเกรดปุ๊บเราได้เอิร์นมากขึ้น อาจจะหลีกเกมโหมดแล้วจะหลีกเกมโหมดแล้ว
Both teams get a really big chicken. The chicken will walk around on the map and you
แต่นี้เขาหลีกมาครั้งหนึ่งแล้ว
have to also protect it, but otherwise
มี2เกมโหมดใหม่ที่เขาพูดถึง
it's really funny and it's really aggressive.
He's looking at me for, is that what you want?
Yeah, and we're also excited about other platforms as well. Like this thing is great, so now we know the possibilities are, and we're certainly looking into it as well. We're also looking at some other technologies right now. Easier to make those possible. So, Next.
Robin, what are you most excited about?
After seeing what happened in Korea and also what happened in Las Vegas last year, seeing these really big tournaments, I'm really excited about these other upcoming esports tournaments. And I want to use this moment talking about esports to tell you about Juan's playbook. He's making a big playbook that will help tournament organizers organize esports tournaments in a really good and less complicated way. You can just go to the website of Spidertank when it's out. And as an organizer, you'll be able to just organize a nice tournament and maybe even
อันนี้นี่ก็ทำกับเราด้วยกลุ่มเรามีว่ามันด้วยกันในการทำเพลง
so there's a kind of a way to fill up this play to earn gap. While we're waiting for play to earn, you can still play esports to earn prize money. So that's something I'm excited about seeing these esports tournaments last year. I'm excited to see more of those.
Well, the thing that I'm most excited about is that now that we have Jerry and Jane, I can work with Sally over there who owns this project at Gala to get a roadmap with actual numbers, month, dates of when it's actually going to launch. Right? Getting that signal to you guys is now I can actually have all these resources to actually get that ready. So that's what we're looking at, and I'll be more excited to do that.
But first, let's get a round of applause for Sally over there. Awesome. She's legitimately amazing. I'm excited about two things. First, I'm excited about getting you guys the actual economy paper stuff. Because it's fucking cool. Like, it's heavy. It's some really big to-do, okay? But I'm also very excited about going back to Korea at some point in time and having a rematch because I've been practicing. I'm ready this time. So I think that we should probably let these people go eat some food, huh? They already ate? Great. You've been eating this, nobody gave this. This is bullshit, fucking scam.
So just to clarify, for any of those questions that weren't answered, which were a lot, we will get to those. We'll wrap them up. We've got these guys are going to be putting on podcasts and answering some questions. If you haven't heard of the Spidertank Esports show, listen to that podcast. Obviously, on Chain Gaming probably will have some updates. Now you have to. So
You should subscribe, by the way.
yeah. So your answers are coming in one roundabout way or the other. And thank you for you guys.
Thank you guys so much. You were all
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if you have more questions, we're going to be walking around. Most of you hanging around over here, so just come up to us and we'll ask you questions.